Do this 10-second test right now. It could reveal a hidden sign of heart stress you are completely ignoring. Stand up. I want you to march in place, lifting your knees high for exactly 10 seconds. Don't hold back. Go. Stop. Listen to your breathing. Is it heavy? Is your heart pounding in your chest? If you're struggling to catch your breath after just 10 seconds, your heart is working harder than it should to pump oxygen to your muscles. This isn't just about fitness, it's a warning sign of poor cardiovascular efficiency, often caused by lifestyle stress or inactivity. But here's what most people don't realize about what just happened in your body during those 10 seconds, and why the way you're breathing right now is telling you a story that most doctors won't explain in a typical 15-minute appointment, because the truth is, your cardiovascular system is like a complex highway system where your heart is the central hub pushing oxygen-rich blood through thousands of miles of vessels. And when that system becomes inefficient due to chronic stress, poor nutrition, or sedentary behavior, your body starts sending you signals that most people completely miss until it's too late. When you did that simple marching test, your heart rate spiked immediately because your muscles demanded more oxygen. And if your recovery is slow, if you're still breathing heavily right now, it means your heart stroke volume, which is the amount of blood pumped with each beat, isn't operating at optimal levels. And this is exactly why athletes can perform intense activity and recover within seconds, while someone who's deconditioned might need minutes to return to baseline after climbing a single flight of stairs. The fascinating part that keeps getting overlooked in mainstream health advice is that this isn't about running marathons or spending 2 hours in the gym every day. It's about understanding the 3 foundational pillars that directly impact your heart's efficiency, and I'm going to break down each one in a way that actually makes sense without the medical jargon that usually makes people's eyes glaze over. Because these 3 things are so simple, yet so powerful, that when you implement them consistently, you'll notice a dramatic difference in how quickly your heart recovers from any physical exertion within just 2 to 3 weeks. The first pillar is something so simple that when I tell you, you might think I'm oversimplifying, but stay with me because the research on this is absolutely bulletproof, and the results speak for themselves when people actually take this seriously. Magnesium. Your heart is a muscle, and like every muscle in your body, it requires specific minerals to contract and relax properly, and magnesium is the master regulator of this process, controlling over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, including the ones that regulate your heartbeat rhythm, your blood pressure, and even how your body responds to stress hormones. When you're deficient in magnesium, which studies show up to 75% of people in developed countries are, your heart has to work significantly harder to do the same job. Your blood vessels become more rigid, losing their natural flexibility, and your body's ability to manage stress hormones like cortisol becomes compromised, creating this vicious cycle where stress depletes magnesium, and low magnesium makes you more susceptible to stress, and this cycle keeps accelerating until you consciously intervene and break it. The reason most people are walking around magnesium deficient without even knowing it comes down to modern agricultural practices that have depleted our soil of this crucial mineral, combined with diets high in processed foods and chronic stress that burns through whatever magnesium we do manage to get from our food. And honestly, the symptoms of deficiency are so varied and non-specific that doctors often miss it entirely, attributing things like muscle cramps, fatigue, irregular heartbeat, and poor exercise recovery to other causes, when the root issue is simply that your cells are starving for this essential mineral. The form of magnesium matters tremendously because many cheap supplements use magnesium oxide, which has poor absorption rates and mostly just gives you digestive issues, whereas magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate are chelated forms that your body can actually absorb and utilize at the cellular level where it's needed most. And, when you get this right, when you bring your magnesium levels back into optimal range, you'll notice that your heart doesn't race as easily, your recovery after physical activity improves dramatically, and even your sleep quality gets better because magnesium is also essential for activating the parasympathetic nervous system that helps you wind down and recover. The second pillar is going to sound almost too basic, but the science behind why this works will completely change how you think about something you do 20,000 times a day without even noticing, and once you understand the mechanism here, you'll never look at breathing the same way again. Breathing. Specifically, nose breathing versus mouth breathing, and the reason this matters for your heart recovery has everything to do with a molecule called nitric oxide that's produced in your nasal passages and sinuses when you breathe through your nose. This molecule is absolutely critical because it dilates your blood vessels, improves oxygen delivery to your tissues, regulates blood pressure, and literally makes your cardiovascular system more efficient with every single breath you take. When you mouth breathe, especially during physical activity or when you're stressed or anxious, you're bypassing this entire system. You're getting less oxygen into your bloodstream, even though it feels like you're breathing more, and you're forcing your heart to compensate by beating faster and harder to deliver the same amount of oxygen to your muscles and organs. And, over months and years, this pattern creates the exact cardiovascular inefficiency that showed up in your 10-second test. The research on this is absolutely fascinating because studies have shown that people who switch from mouth breathing to nose breathing during exercise can maintain the same level of performance with a significantly lower heart rate, meaning their cardiovascular system is working more efficiently. And this isn't just about athletic performance, this applies to every single activity you do throughout your day, from walking upstairs to carrying groceries to playing with your kids. The challenge is that if you've been a chronic mouth breather, your body has adapted to that pattern, and switching to nose breathing might feel difficult at first, especially during any kind of exertion. But this is where you need to trust the process, and understand that your nasal passages will actually expand and adapt within just a few weeks of consistent nose breathing practice, and the payoff is enormous because you're literally retraining your cardiovascular system to operate more efficiently with less stress on your heart. The third pillar is where everything comes together, and this is the part that's going to give you the fastest measurable improvement in your heart recovery score that you can actually track and see progress on week by week, and it's based on something called high-intensity interval walking, which sounds fancy, but is actually just strategic short bursts of faster walking integrated into your normal daily movement patterns. The reason this works when traditional steady-state cardio often fails for busy people is that these brief intensity spikes, even just 30 to 60 seconds at a time, force your heart to adapt by improving its stroke volume, which is the amount of blood your heart pumps with each beat. And, they train your cardiovascular system to recover faster after exertion by repeatedly exposing it to that stress and recovery cycle. The best part is, you can do this while walking to your car, during a lunch break, while walking your dog, or really any time you're already moving, without needing special equipment, a gym membership, or even changing into workout clothes. The protocol is incredibly simple, but you have to be consistent with it to see results, and here's exactly how it works in practice. During any walk you're already taking, whether that's from your parking spot to your office or around your neighborhood in the evening, you simply pick up your pace significantly for 30 to 60 seconds, walking as fast as you can while maintaining good form and nose breathing if possible. Then you return to your normal comfortable pace for a minute or two, until your breathing normalizes, and you repeat this pattern 3 to 5 times during that walk. What's happening physiologically during these intervals is that you're creating a demand for oxygen that challenges your cardiovascular system. Your heart rate spikes up, and then during the recovery period, your body is learning to bring that heart rate back down more quickly and efficiently, and this adaptation is exactly what improves your heart recovery score over time. The beauty of this approach compared to traditional cardio is that you're getting maximum cardiovascular benefit in minimal time without the joint stress of running or the time commitment of long gym sessions. And because you're integrating it into movement you're already doing, there's no friction or extra time required, which means you're far more likely to actually stick with it long term. Studies have shown that even just 3 sessions per week of interval walking can improve cardiovascular markers as effectively as much longer duration steady-state cardio. And when you combine this with optimized magnesium levels and nose breathing, you create this synergistic effect where each element amplifies the others and your heart recovery improves exponentially faster than if you only addressed one factor in isolation. Don't panic if your recovery score wasn't great on that initial test. You can improve this naturally. Start with these 3 evidence-based steps. First, check your magnesium levels and consider supplementing with magnesium glycinate at about 300 to 400 milligrams per day, which has the highest absorption rate and won't cause digestive issues. Second, prioritize nose breathing throughout your day, especially during any physical activity, and practice it consciously until it becomes your default breathing pattern. Third, implement daily high-intensity interval walking, just 3 to 5 bursts during your normal routine where you're already moving. Want the exact protocol to improve your heart recovery score with specific timing, dosages, and progression plans? Download my free guide in the link below and subscribe for more natural health tests that could save your life.